Welcome everyone, I hope you're having a very wonderful day and welcome to my redo guide for mountain lions for Silver Ridge Peaks. I've already uploaded this, but due to my own negligence, I failed to check the second part of the recording where I do my weapon recommendations and my mic went absolutely crazy. So we're here to rectify those issues and redo the whole guide. So let me get right into today's video and explain to you guys how today's guide is going to work. So our first section, we're going to be covering all the mountain lion zones, explaining how they work and how they spawn. And then we're going to be checking out 2 hotspots. And then we're going to move on to the weapon recommendation part. And then we're going to end today's video with the animal profile, which will have a custom map, ammo chart, and time zones, all to make your hunting life 10 times easier. So let's get right into it. We're going to open up our map really quick. I'm going to try to explain properly. I suck at explaining things on where mountain lions like to reside. So we have the white boundary here of the plains. Pretty much no mountain lions go in there. I'm pretty sure the only lake that has mountain lions is this one right here on this little road bend. And they don't reside at these 3 lakes here, but they do like to reside at this one next to this outpost up here. And that pretty much will cover all the stuff down here at the plains, because all the pronghorn and bison like to reside down there. But everything up past the plains, all the way up here in this top left section, is all mountain lion territory. So all these lakes throughout this part of the northern section and this kind of like left-hand side has mountain lions. So let's check out our first hotspot of the day here in Crooked Hills. We have these double lakes right here, which I consider to be a pretty good mountain lion hotspot. So let's take a quick look at it. So we're going to pull out our map, put away our map, excuse me. And we're going to pull out our binoculars and take a quick look at what we got here. So I get a consistent amount of mountain lions respawning here. As we can take a quick look, we should have a beautiful level 8 right in front of us and a level 7. Now I do know there should be some females off in these bushes, but I cannot see them. And there should be some other stuff over here somewhere. I do believe there was a group of females off on this left hand side. Maybe they're in the reeds over there. But I recommend checking this out. The reason why I like it so much is because you have 2 lakes pretty close together, which means it can house a lot more animals. And it's right next to an outpost, which makes it very, very convenient when coming out to looking for mountain lions. Another reason why I like it is because when you come up to the second hill, or the second lake here, you have a pretty clear overview of the entirety of the lake. I mean, with this one, my only complaint is this little hill right here kind of blocks the right-hand side of the lake. As you guys can see, a mountain lion is already scared because of this hill here. You can't really get a good look at them, which means you have to just creep up when going over that hill. But we're going to come over here and take a quick look at the other lake, just so you guys get a little look-see here about what I see when I'm talking about the beautiful overlook of this lake. So we're walking up really quick. Really quick. It's taking a little bit to run over here. Should have a good view any second. So here's our overview of this lake, and as you guys can see, it's a pretty good bird's eye view. So we'll just run up through these bushes here, make all the noise in the world. And you can look down into the grass here, which honestly, I really hate this grass on this map. But when it comes up to this point, it's pretty easy to spot them. I don't think any of my mountain lions are actually here right now. I should have a male somewhere. But I pretty much blasted most of the males at this lake, so they probably have not returned. There should be one down here. But he is not here. Or he's just hiding. And I'm blind. Oh, there he is. I am blind. I believe he ran away. Yep, there he is. And he's a level 8. Very nice. I'm going to have to come back here and deal with those 2 mythicals and that level 7. But yeah, this is the reason why I like these 2 little lakes here. I recommend checking them out and tenting them up. We're going to go over really quick and check out our second hotspot of the day, which is in the top left-hand corner of this map with these 2 lakes. We're only going to visit one of these 2, but I recommend checking them both out. This bottom one here, I've gotten, I think, 2 diamond mountain lions, so I highly recommend checking it out. And then up here, I haven't gotten anything, but we're going to check out this top one here today in just a moment, so I'll see you guys there. And here we are, folks, at our second location. I might have been mistaken, to be quite honest, which one of these 2 lakes had the most mountain lions in it, because I came over here and I've only seen a female. We originally had a duo of level 7s here, but I can't find them. And so I assume that I've already killed them and they've not replaced any mountain lions at this lake. But I highly recommend checking out these 2 lakes at the top. They're pretty nice, and especially if you're coming from this angle, you have a pretty good overview of the entirety of the lake and the surrounding area on it, which will just let you creep up easier on these mountain lions, because sometimes they kind of blend in. Like, if we let this fade out really quick, let's just take a quick look here. Come on. There you go. Can you really tell that there's a mountain lion there? Let's be real here. If you did not see the white of that underbelly, I'm pretty sure you would not be able to tell there's a mountain lion there, even at certain angles. So I highly recommend coming at this from this lake, from this position on this side here, allowing to get a pretty nice overview of the whole thing. Since there's not a lot of mountain lions here and you guys can't take my word for it as a pretty good hotspot, I'll recommend some other locations such as this big lake here next to this outpost and this lake here. And then, if I do recall, this one right down here where my mouse is at. So those 3 lakes also are pretty good and pretty consistent for mountain lions, because I'm pretty sure that's where all of my mountain lions I've just killed have respawned and they were sent over there. Excuse me, Mr. Elk. I'm in the middle of doing something here. And we're going to pretty much wrap up all the hotspots. I'm very, very sad that this one does not have a lot of mountain lions, but trust me, check it out on your map and let me know what you guys get on yours, on your 2 little lakes up here in the top left-hand corner. So, out of the way, I'm going to see you guys back at the weapon locker so I can give you guys my 5 weapon recommendations. So, I'll see you guys there. And here we are, folks, back at the outpost. Before we begin, I want to quickly mention 3 things. First things first is, I'm only going to be covering rifles, handguns, and shotguns. I'll not be covering bows because I'm not a bow expert. I'll leave it out to professionals. Secondly, these are just my personal recommendations. I always say go out there and explore and see what suits you and what you enjoy playing with. And then lastly, I'll be mentioning all the DLC these weapons come from in case you want to pick them up for yourself. So let's get right into it with our first rifle today. This is one of my top 3 favorite rifles in the game. The Malamur Submagnum is a very high-powered rifle covering classes 4 through 9. You have 3 rounds in there. You can play some pretty alright follow-up shots. Sometimes it's finicky for me, but it's a very accurate rifle, so I don't really think you need to place those follow-up shots, and it'll drop a mountain lion like a sack of potatoes. Can't recommend this bad boy enough, and you can find it in the Hunter Power Pack DLC. Moving on to our second rifle today, which is the Olson Model 23-308. This is another phenomenal, very accurate rifle that you can use to take out mountain lions. Highly recommend it. You can place actually a lot better follow-up shots than 7mm with this thing, and you have 4 rounds in there. And honestly, I prefer using this more over than the semi-auto version that's in the game. So I recommend picking this bad boy up, and you can find it in the Hunter Power Pack DLC as well. Moving on to our final rifle of the day here. And here it is, the Zarza 10-308, which even though I recommended the bolt action, I'm going to have to recommend the semi-auto version as well, because even though I prefer the bolt action, this thing's also a very reliable rifle. You have 5 rounds in there, it's semi-automatic, so follow-up shots are just a breeze. I recommend picking this bad boy up if you do not want to use a bolt action and you just want to take out as many animals as you want, which, at least with mountain lions, they travel pretty much in pairs most of the time, so you can probably take out both mountain lions with this bad boy pretty easily, and you could find it in the Modern Rifle Pack DLC. Moving on to handguns, we're only covering 1 handgun today, which is my personal favorite of them all. The 4570 Jernberg Spear is a very phenomenal little hand cannon. Even though you have 1 round in the tube, it's still a very phenomenal pistol, and I find it to be a lot better than the rest because you can put a rifle scope on it, and it also levels up your pistols pretty easily. Highly recommend picking this bad boy up, and you could find it in the High Caliber Weapon Pack DLC. Moving on to shotguns, I actually changed this from the original video because I thought about it a little bit more. The Norden 20 gauge is just a phenomenal shotgun. You can use slugs on it. I was going to recommend the drilling rifle, but you can't really use the slugs on it as much as I would like to because I was testing out a little bit. But the Norden 20 gauge, very phenomenal. It's semi-auto. You have 3 rounds of the tube. You can place those follow-up shots pretty easily. It's very fun to use. Highly recommend picking it up, and you can find it in the Duck and Cover Pack DLC. That'll pretty much be it for the weapon recommendations. I will see you guys over at the animal profile in just a moment. And here we are, folks, at the end of today's video. Before I let you guys go, let me do a quick animal profile breakdown. Starting on the left-hand side, we have our mountain lion basic information covering the class, difficulty, silver, gold, and diamond threshold. We have our weight from kilograms to pounds from least to greatest. We have our fur types covering common and very rare. Moving on to the center of the map, we pretty much have already discussed all the mountain lion zones today. So we're going to move to the top hand right where we have all of our time zones organized to make your hunt life 10 times easier. And then below that, we have our ammo chart for those full integrity kills. And that'll pretty much do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like. It really helps out the channel. And with that out of the way, folks, I hope you guys have a very wonderful day. Happy hunting, good luck, and I will see you guys in the next one.